Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into history and exploring the incredible life of Leonardo da Vinci, one of the most brilliant minds the world has ever known. So, let's get started. The story of Leonardo da Vinci begins in the rolling hills of Tuscany, in the small town of Vinci, where he was born on April 15, 1452. He was the illegitimate son of Piero da Vinci, a notary, and Caterina, a peasant woman. This unusual beginning would, in some ways, shape the unique path he would walk in life, a path that defied the conventional expectations of family, society, and profession. Born into a world on the cusp of the Renaissance, Leonardo was poised to become a figure whose genius would transcend time, a man whose mind seemed to encompass the entirety of human knowledge. From his earliest years, Leonardo exhibited a restless curiosity, a thirst to understand the world around him, not just superficially, but in its deepest essence. He was fascinated by the mechanics of nature, the flight of birds, the flow of water, the anatomy of humans and animals. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Leonardo did not limit himself to one field. Instead, he allowed his mind to roam freely across disciplines, blending art, science, engineering, and philosophy into a singular vision of the universe. This was the hallmark of the Renaissance ideal, the polymath, a man of infinite curiosity, and Leonardo embodied it fully. At the age of 14, Leonardo moved to Florence, the epicenter of Renaissance art and thought. Here he became an apprentice in the studio of Andrea del Verrocchio, a renowned painter and sculptor. It was a world of artistic rigor and technical mastery, where young artists learned to see not just shapes and colors, but the principles of light, perspective, and anatomy that gave their creations life. Leonardo excelled, quickly surpassing the skills of his peers, not through sheer repetition, but through a keen observational insight. He observed the world with the eyes of a scientist and the heart of an artist, meticulously studying the curvature of a river, the musculature of an arm, or the intricate patterns of clouds in the sky. Leonardo's art, though fewer in number than some of his contemporaries, remains among the most celebrated and enigmatic in human history. Works like The Last Supper and Mona Lisa are not just paintings, they are investigations into the essence of human emotion, light, and perspective. The Mona Lisa, with her enigmatic smile, embodies Leonardo's understanding that the human experience is layered, complex, and ever-shifting. He mastered the technique of sfumato, a method of blending colors and tones to achieve lifelike transitions, creating a sense of depth and realism that had never been seen before. In The Last Supper, he captured a singular moment of dramatic tension, showing the intricate interplay of gesture, emotion, and narrative. These masterpieces are more than art. They are studies of humanity itself, capturing the fragility, intelligence, and emotion of human beings. Yet, Leonardo was not content to remain within the confines of the studio. His notebooks reveal a mind that was perpetually in motion, constantly questioning, sketching, and theorizing. His codices, such as the Codex Atlanticus and Codex Leicester, are filled with drawings of flying machines, intricate bridges, anatomical sketches, and studies of water and geology. He dissected corpses to understand human anatomy, meticulously recording the structure of muscles, bones, and organs. His notebooks demonstrate a rare fusion of art and science, as he sketched the precise musculature of a hand with the same attention to detail as a mechanical device. Leonardo's scientific investigations were far ahead of his time. He designed helicopters, submarines, and elaborate war machines, although many of these inventions would not be realized in his lifetime. His observations of the natural world were methodical, empirical, and deeply insightful. He studied the movement of water, the patterns of erosion and the flight of birds, seeking to understand the principles that governed them. In doing so, he anticipated many concepts that would only be formally described centuries later. Leonardo's notebooks reveal a mind that was tireless, a thinker who never stopped asking why. Despite his genius, Leonardo often struggled to complete commissions. He was notoriously slow, meticulous, and at times distracted by his curiosity. He would abandon projects if they no longer engaged his interest, moving instead to new studies or experiments. This pattern of restless pursuit is part of what makes him both frustrating and fascinating to historians. A man whose intellect was boundless, but whose life was often marked by incompletion. Yet, even unfinished works offer glimpses into his vision, showing sketches and studies that reveal the depth of his understanding. Leonardo's life was also shaped by the courts and politics of Renaissance Italy. He moved between Florence, Milan, Venice, and France, working for powerful patrons such as Ludovico Sforza, the Duke of Milan, and King Francis I of France. These relationships provided him with resources, protection, and opportunities, but also imposed deadlines and expectations. Leonardo navigated these complexities with the same ingenuity he applied to his art and science, negotiating, inventing, and adapting to survive in a world that demanded both talent and diplomacy. One of Leonardo's most remarkable traits was his ability to see connections between seemingly unrelated fields. He approached art with the precision of an engineer, and he approached science with the imagination of an artist. He believed that the study of the human body informed the creation of realistic paintings, and that understanding the flow of water could improve the design of machines. This holistic vision is one of the reasons he is remembered not only as an artist or scientist, but as a thinker whose mind transcended categories. Leonardo's approach embodies the Renaissance ideal of universal knowledge, the belief that learning in one domain illuminates understanding in another. The final years of Leonardo's life were spent in France, at the court of King Francis I, where he was honored as premier painter and engineer and architect to the king. He continued to sketch, invent, and theorize until his death on May 2, 1519. In France, Leonardo found the recognition and security that had eluded him in Italy. Yet even in this period, his work remained unfinished, a testament to a mind that was always reaching beyond what was immediately possible. Leonardo da Vinci's legacy is immeasurable. His art continues to captivate audiences, inspiring awe at its technical mastery and emotional depth. His notebooks, preserved across centuries, reveal a mind that was curious, analytical, and imaginative beyond measure. He serves as a symbol of the Renaissance, the era in which human potential was celebrated, explored, and expanded. But more than that, Leonardo embodies the enduring human quest for knowledge, the drive to understand the world, and the refusal to be confined by convention. The story of Leonardo is a story of curiosity without limits, of intellect intertwined with creativity, and of a life dedicated to exploration. He teaches us that genius is not merely the product of talent, but of persistent observation, fearless experimentation, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. In every stroke of his brush and every line in his notebooks, we see the mind of a man who sought to capture not just the appearance of things, but their very essence. Leonardo da Vinci's brilliance reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is a journey without end. He did not merely live in the Renaissance, he defined it, shaping the world in ways that continue to reverberate 5 centuries later. His vision was one of unity, art and science, observation and imagination, beauty and truth, all intertwined in a single infinite quest. He was, in every sense, the eternal Renaissance mind, a man whose curiosity, insight, and creativity remain a guiding light for all who seek to understand the universe and our place within it. Even today, scholars, artists, engineers, and scientists turn to Leonardo for inspiration. His life reminds us that boundaries are constructs of the mind, and that with curiosity and perseverance, the limits of human understanding are boundless. From a humble Tuscan village to the courts of kings, Leonardo da Vinci's journey was one of relentless inquiry and boundless imagination, leaving a legacy that will forever define what it means to be human. If you want to uncover more untold stories hidden in the shadows of history, make sure to subscribe to Echoes of Time, and remember, learn to see.